ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुताः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं सहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणरहिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामे नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषवादी पाश्चात्य कम करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। हरि ओम तत्सत्। Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining. We are discussing, or rather we are continuing to discuss the fifth chapter of the eighth canto of the Srimad Bhagavat. This chapter, we discussed roughly the first 20 verses in the last class, and hopefully we will complete the discussion of this chapter, around 50 odd verses. As we all have discussed earlier, the eighth canto, the Ashtama Skanda of the Bhagavad Puran, mainly deals with the topic of Manvantaras. The previous few chapters, which were dedicated to Gajendra Moksha, deal with the Lord's Manvantar incarnation by the name Hari, who saved Gajendra. And as soon as that question came up, that reference came up, that mention came up, Shukadeva Goswami was, as usual, very attentive and excited to latch on to that point. Please tell me how Lord Hari saved Gajendra. And then there was this beautiful discussion. 3 chapters we discussed this beautiful pastime of Gajendra Moksha. Very purifying. Come chapter 5, Shukadeva Goswami is being asked by Parikshit Maharaj, tell me now about other Manvantaras. You have described up to the 4th Manvantara. You have described earlier about Lord Vaikuntha. You have described about Lord Hari, the previous Manvantaras. Can we now discuss about the pastimes of the Lord in the 5th and the 6th Manvantara? We are currently in the 7th Manvantara. Tell me about the Raivata Manvantara and the Chakshusha Manvantara. So that is when Shukadeva Goswami narrates the Raivata Manvantara. In the Raivata Manvantara, he mentions about Lord Vaikuntha, who married Rama Devi and they created a Vaikuntha planet on the top of the Loka mountains. So that beautiful pastime was briefly mentioned. Then Shukadev Goswami moves on to the sixth Manvantara, the Manvantara known as the Chakshusha Manvantara, where the Lord came in his Manvantara incarnation by the name of Ajita. In that particular incarnation by the name of Ajita, a brief reference is given that this Ajita helped the Devatas perform the Samudra Manthan to get the Amrit. And he took the form of Kurma, the famous tortoise incarnation. And immediately, as expected, Parikshit Maharaj said, pause. Please expand. I want to hear about this katha. Please tell me in detail. I am not satisfied by your brief mentions. Please. So because of the spiritual taste and the great inquisitiveness of these great personalities, today all these kathas are available to us. Of course, there are many more, but we have what is recorded in the scriptures. These pastimes are many manvantaras old. Modern human history, most of the modern books barely have any historical records beyond maybe 2, 3, 4,000 years old. Beyond that, they don't even know what was there. We don't even have, according to modern acceptance, they do not know. They say we know history only as far as a few thousand years. But our scriptures, our Purana and Itihasas are Ramayana and Mahabharata. And the Purana are very, very ancient stories. Itihasas are relatively, Itihasas are histories of this planet. Ramayana and Mahabharata. Purana means very ancient. How ancient? Manvantaras old. What is one Manvantara? 71 Divya Yugas is one Manvantara. Means we are not even talking about stories, historical stories, real episodes, which not just happened in this Chaturyuga, Satya, Treta, Dwapara, Kali. We are in Kali Yuga. We are not even just talking about stories of the Treta or the Satya Yuga, but we are talking about previous Divya Yugas. In fact, not even Divya Yugas in this Manvantara. We are talking about pastimes in previous Manvantaras. We are just now discussing the Chakshusha Manvantara, which is the sixth Manvantara, which is the previous Manvantar, not even this Manvantar. How old is that? I need to do the mathematics, but it is millions and millions and millions of years old. So our Hindu scriptures, the Vedic scriptures, expound the concept of cyclical time. It is not that the world is created at one point and then there is a final annihilation at one point and then everyone goes to heaven or hell. No, not that kind of a construct. The world goes through cyclical phases of time in the form of yugas. So that is very beautifully explained. And there are this repeated process of creation and destruction, a repeated process where dharma is established, then it gradually dwindles, and finally the Lord reestablishes and brings another Satyuga, and then again gradually Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali. The Lord again pushes up. Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali. Again pushes. This is an unending cycle. Such a beautiful description in the scriptures. So the pastime that we are discussing in this chapter is that of the Chakshusha Manvantara, where Ajita, the son of Vairaja and Deva Sambhuti, was the Manvantara avatar. And this mention of Samudra Manthan comes, and Sukadev Goswami starts narrating to Parikshit Maharaj what led to the Samudra Manthan. And I'm just recapping what we discussed in the previous chapter. The essential context of why the Samudra Manthan was needed, and that need hasn't even come into the pastime yet. The background to that was how Indra offended Durvasa Muni By being an elephant crushed it. Durvasa, seeing that the Maha of a saint, he curses him that he lose all his opulence, and soon enough, as the Asuras come to know that the Devatas have become weak because of this curse, they successfully managed to drive out the Devatas from their kingdom. Indra and the other Devatas are running. They are impoverished. They have no homes, no kingdoms, hiding, saving their lives somehow or the other. They got together thinking what to do. The situation became so bad because whenever the Asuras take over, the Rajogun and Tamogun in the universe, that proportion increases, and that really creates a very disturbing situation. Without the Devatas in control, even the Dharmic system, which is set up in the Manvantara administration, we discussed, right? The Manvantara administration is a combination of the Manu Putras, the Devatas, Sureshwara Indra, the Sapta Rishi, and the Manvantara avatars. And the Devatas form a very, very important part of that whole system because they are controlling the various aspects of nature, and they are reciprocating with the living entities on earth who are worshipping them through various yajnas and puja archanas. The whole system of divine administration became upset. That's were very disturbed, and they had a conference. Despite their conference and intense brainstorming, they were unable to resolve the problem. So they said, "Oh, this is beyond us. We need to go escalate this one level up." So they escalated it to Lord Brahma. So where did they meet Lord Brahma? Anybody remembers? I mentioned. Anyone remembers? Where did they meet Lord Brahma? They met Lord Brahma in Brahmapuri, not in Brahmalok, but in Brahmapuri, which is Brahma's office on the top of Mount Sumeru. So he has an office there. There are many offices on the top of Mount Sumeru. We discussed this in the 5th canto. I'll not go into that right now, but in different directions, there are different offices of the various Devatas. I think there is one Indra's, one Varuna's, one Yamaraj, and one more. I don't remember all the details right now, various directions, and Lord Brahma's. So they had this meeting with Lord Brahma and they explained their situation to Brahma, and Brahma was looking at the destitute situation of the Devatas. He really started contemplating very seriously what to do, how to fix the problem. The situation seemed so severe even to Lord Brahma's mind. Lord Brahma is the most intelligent creature or created being. He is the first created being within the universe. He is the most intelligent. Quad processor, 4 heads. But he also is thinking this is a very difficult situation. This is beyond even my pay grade to find a solution. Let us go to the big boss. Let us take help of that Lord from whom all of us have been created. You may think of me as the most brightest person, but there is also a limit to what I can solve. But there is no limit to the top boss, who's the creator of all of us. He's the creator of the entire cosmic manifestation. He is situated on Shweta Dvipa. Shweta Dvipa refers to the abode of Kshirodakasayi Vishnu in this universe. And where is it? It is on Dhruvaloka. What is Dhruvaloka? It is what we know as the pole star. So you may say, Prabhu, pole star is a star. I don't see any milk there. We see from telescope, why we don't see Lord Vishnu lying there with the milk ocean? Because we can see only the gross aspect of what we see as the star. We cannot see the subtle aspect of it. We cannot even see the air next to us. What to speak of seeing Lord Vishnu on Dhruvaloka? So that's a spiritual planet. That's like the embassy of the spiritual world within the material universe. So he said, let us go there and let us take shelter of the big boss. That boss whom even I, Brahma, Shiva, and others adore. And that you all jivas, not only the devatas, but all these various kinds of jivas, Shvedaja, Andaja, Udvija, Charayuja, all kinds of living entities who have been born in various ways, either through an egg or through a seed or through an embryo or through perspiration, whatever category, they are all coming from him. We are all his children, like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Pita ham asya jagata dhata mata pitamaha. I am the mother and father of all living entities. I am the big, I am, there is no cause beyond me. Mattara parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya. So when even the devatas cannot solve problems, they go to Brahma. When Brahma and Shiva also cannot solve problems, they go to Deva Deva Jagatpati, Lord Hari. Lord Hari is the maintainer of the universe. Maintenance is the most difficult. Creation is difficult. Destruction also requires extraordinary power, but it's not so difficult, relatively speaking. Relatively speaking, correct? Nowadays, so many wars are happening, missiles are going here and there. How long it takes to build a huge building, and how long does it take to throw a missile and destroy it? Destruction is so much, but maintenance is a continuous, painful, ongoing activity, which is comes under the quality of Sattva Guna. Lord Vishnu is managing that, so we go to Lord Vishnu. So Brahma says, let us go and pray to that Lord, because ultimately it is He who through the modes of nature is managing this, and He is the one who takes various incarnations to make various adjustments so that the balance in the universe is maintained. Let us go. So let us go where? Let us go to Shvetadvipa. Let us go to the embassy. Correct? So just like, now I am in Malaysia, but I'm an Indian citizen. So if I want to deal with India being situated in Malaysia, I have to go to Indian embassy. So in the material world, the main embassy of the spiritual world in the material world is Shvetadvipa. Of course, every temple of the Lord where the Lord is properly installed and worshipped is also spiritual embassy, because the Lord is present there in his deity form. But all incarnations which appear in this universe are coming through the medium of Kshirodakasayi Vishnu. Kshira, Udaka. Kshira means milk. Udaka means ocean. Kshira, Udaka, Shayi. The Lord who is lying in the ocean of milk. He is the big boss within this universe. Of course, there are three Vishnus. Vishnu's tu trini rupani. There is the Mahavishnu, there is the Garbhodakasayi Vishnu, and the Kshirodakasayi Vishnu. Garbhodakasayi Vishnu is so huge. The whole universe is just coming from his navel. Nobody can see him. He's so huge and vast. And he's so beyond us. But he also enters by his plenary expansion Kshirodakasayi Vishnu and enters into Shvetadvipa. Even that Vishnu is not directly accessible. The Bhagavatam describes Lord Brahma along with all the devatas went to the shore of the milk ocean. They didn't directly go and see Lord Vishnu. They went to the shore of the milk ocean. Lord Brahma told the devatas, let us go there, because we need to go to that person, that Supreme Lord who's impartial to all living entities. He has no friend and no enemies. Na yasya vadyo na charakshaniyo nopekshaniya dharaniya pakshaha. He has no fear or favor. He's equal to all. But even though he's equal to all, to maintain the balance of the universe for execution of various affairs like creation, maintenance, destruction, he takes many, many forms and executes various functions through his various energies. Dhatte rajas sattvat tamam sikale. And now this is the maintenance function. So let us go to him. He's expert in maintaining. Sthitipalana kshanaha. And for Sthitipalana, Sattva is very important. So, because the Supreme Lord is Surapriya, Even though he is equal to all, those who are devoted to him, he is especially affectionate. Correct? Huh? Even though he is equal, he is not partial, but he is reciprocative. It's a difference. Huh? Being partial means, I just unjustly favor somebody. I like somebody, I hate somebody. The Lord doesn't have this kind of liking and dislike because everyone is a child. Why should he like someone and dislike anyone? Like parents love all children, the Lord likes everyone. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priya. Nobody is dear to me and nobody is hated by me. Ye bhajante tumam bhaktya. But those who worship me with devotion, I am in them and they are in me. Which means if you approach me with love, I will also reciprocate with that love. So it's not about partiality, it is about reciprocation. So he's Surapriya because for the Suras, they are Vishnu Bhakta, they are devotees of the Lord. Naturally, the Lord reciprocates. So you are Surapriya, so definitely he will consider your request. Not because he is partial, but because he reciprocates with the devotion of his devotees. And he will surely bless you, Lord Brahma says. Swanam sano dhasyati sam. Dhasyati sham. So the Lord will bless you, not only remove your problems, but he'll give you the right intelligence by which you can come to the supreme destination. So Lord Brahma led the whole party of the Devatas and took them to Shvetadvipa. Sometimes we may think, Shvetadvipa is, so far away. It is the pole star. One day we will have a spaceship by which we can go to pole star and then I can meet Lord Vishnu and shake hand and come back. Huh? Those who are faithful may think like that. Those who have no faith, they will say, I will go there and prove to you there is no ocean of milk. It is just a star. It's just a ball of gas. I will prove to you. So the Shastras describe what to speak of us. Even Brahma and the Devatas cannot see Lord Vishnu directly on Shvetadvip. They can perceive the ocean of milk, which is subtly situated there, but they can only be on the bank of the ocean of milk. Ajitasya Padam, that abode of Lord Ajita. And when he goes there, the Devatas are surprised why Brahmaji is waiting on the bank of the ocean. Why he is not going in and taking all of us? So the Bhagavatam describes Adrishta Swarupaya. Brahmaji just stood on the bank and he started praying. Why he started praying? Because the Lord who is in the ocean of milk is not even visible even to Lord Brahma. Even to Lord Brahma. The first created being, even he cannot directly go. The Lord is there on Sheshasayi. He's lying on Ananta Shesha. Lakshmi Devi is massaging his feet in the Kshirodaka ocean. But nobody can just walk in and go to meet him. You can only come to the door and ring the bell. Correct? Just like, somebody comes to our house. And what is the ringing of the bell? Ringing of the bell is Lord Brahma offering prayers to the Lord. Oh, we have come, oh Lord, we need some help. Can you please help us? Correct? So when you go to someone's house, do we allow anybody just to come and walk in and come into our bedroom? No, our house door is closed. The person has to first come, if at all he manages to come to the door, through the condo security. When he comes, he has to first ring the bell. Ding, ding, I want to meet. And most of the times we will not even, we'll just open the doors, we'll see who it is, we'll open the door. And most of the time we'll settle the matter when the person is still outside the door and we are inside the door. Take the delivery, we'll have that quick conversation. We don't invite anyone inside our private space, our home. Inside the Shvetadvip, in the ocean of milk, is like the Lord's bedroom, is his Sheshashayya, where Lakshmi Devi is intimately serving him by massaging his feet. Nobody can just go and walk in there. So usually, even when the Lord wants to reciprocate, when Brahmaji prays, the Lord does one of two things. Either the Lord will just over the intercom, correct? Sometimes when you ring the bell over the intercom, the person says, "Yes, who is it? Oh, I am delivery man from DHL. Leave the parcel outside the door. I collect later. Okay, thank you. Bye bye. Do not even show the face. Just pass message." So sometimes even when Lord Brahma will come in some pastimes, the Lord will just reveal a message. And then Brahma will say, okay, I asked the Lord has given this, I have downloaded this message, here is the message. Okay, this is what the Lord has told all of you to do, let us go. So that not even the door is not also opened, the Lord doesn't even come out. Sometimes the Lord will come and give darshan outside. He doesn't take all the devatas and go inside, come sit on Anantashesh, Indra you sit here, Chandra you sit here. No, no, no. He doesn't take them into the bedroom. Very, very great personality. Narad Muni can go all the way. He has that special affectionate relationship with the Lord. Like a very, very close friend. He could go in. Even the Devatas cannot. So Brahmaji is standing on the bank and he is praying. So why I'm explaining all this is that even the Lord sitting or lying in his yoga nidra on Shesha in Shvetadvipa is not directly accessible even to Lord Brahma. Adrishta Swarupaya, but the Lord knows he's there. How? Sorry, Brahma knows the Lord is there. How he knows? Shruta Purvaya. He has heard from the Vedas. The Vedas were revealed at the beginning of creation by the Lord Brahma, and by hearing the Vedas, he knows. That is why, at the being at the ocean of bank of the ocean of milk, Lord Brahma, with full faith in the words of Shastra, in the words of scriptures, is starting to offer beautiful stuti. Stutim Daivibhir Girbhir. The stuti which is given in the Shastras with an undeviated mind, avahita indriyahi, he starts offering very beautiful prayers. Prabhupada says something very, very important at this particular point in time. Srila Prabhupada says that in commentary to this particular verse is verse number 25. He says, seeing God is not as important as hearing about God. Very interesting. Seeing God. Many people, when they come to spiritual, oh, we want to see God, we want to see God, we want to see God. Even when Krishna was on this planet, even when Rama was on this planet, so many people came and so many people were able to see him. But were they able to appreciate that here is the Supreme Person? No, many of the demons could not appreciate him as the Supreme Person. They saw him as an enemy, they saw him as an ordinary person, or at most as a powerful person. The Shastras say that one sees spiritually through the ears. How to see from the ears? Because spiritual subject matter is not always visible to the eyes, but when we hear the words of Shastra, when we hear from Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra through the ears, Vedic wisdom, then through the years we can understand the real nature of the Supreme Lord, even though we may not see. And we accept that with faith. That is real seeing. Appreciating the Lord by hearing about Him from the scriptures is more valuable than simply seeing Him with the eyes but not having proper spiritual faith. Because if you don't have proper spiritual faith, even seeing Him will not produce the same benefit. There's this beautiful pastime, right, of in Krishna Leela, beautiful pastime where when Lord Krishna along with Balram enter Mathura, there's this beautiful episode of various individuals coming and interacting with the Lord. Those who are devotees, they were able to appreciate the Lord and render some service and get very, very special benedictions. But this washerman, the dhobi, the Lord comes to him and says, give me some cloth, and if you just give me some cloth, all blessings will be on you. Even though he is seeing Krishna face to face, after accumulating punya for spiritual credits for so many lifetimes, because of having an envious attitude and not being able to appreciate the Lord, he was unable to take the right benefit from the opportunity which was presented to him in form of God coming face to face with him. Can you imagine? How many of us are fortunate that the Lord will come like this face to face? Anyone here? I haven't seen the Lord face to face like this. He got that opportunity, but he messed it up big time because of not having transcendental faith. He could have got all blessings, he could have got perfection of his life, but he was killed by the Lord. So what was the value of his seeing? Rukmini became such a great devotee of the Lord and wanted to marry the Lord simply by hearing about him. She had not even seen. Do you know that Rukmini had never seen Krishna until the time that Krishna came to kidnap her on her own invitation, by the way. Krishna is detached. Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrama Sevyamana. Rukmini, because she heard from so many saints about the glories of Krishna, her heart became so attracted with so much faith and love that she became attached to the Lord. So much importance to hear. That's why what we are doing here, we are seeing the Lord through the pages of Bhagavad. We are seeing the Lord through the pages of Bhagavad, with that message entering from the ears and being accepted by spiritual faith in our hearts. That is very important. So Brahma, having that faith in scripture, is praying like that with full faith. Even though he cannot see, he has faith, correct? He cannot see the Lord, but we have faith. We have faith in Shastra, we have faith in the Guru, we have faith in the sadhus and their words and their instructions. So the rest of this chapter, after verse 25, which is 26 onwards, all the way to the end of this chapter, are the prayers that Lord Brahma utters on the bank of the milk ocean to beseech the Lord. So there is a process how one should approach the Lord and pray. It's not that, you go to the Lord, ring the doorbell at Shetadvipa, say, ding, 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 ding. Your problem, this is problem, come solve it, I have come for problem solving. And the Lord is not anybody's servant. One first prays to the Lord to invoke the Lord's compassion and to express one's dependence on Him. So whenever you see in the Bhagavad, and the Bhagavad is replete with beautiful prayers by the various devotees to the Lord, they always begin by wonderfully glorifying the nature of the Lord. So next 25 odd verses are beautiful glorifications of the Lord. In my early days, when I was studying the Gita, Bhagavad, Krishna book, whenever I would hit a section which is full of prayers, I would think, oh, prayers have come. Nice story was going on. Nice pastime was going on. Oh, suddenly prayer. Now so many verses, prayer, 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 prayer. To my mind, it would seem like an obstacle in enjoying the katha. But actually, these prayers are included in the pages of Bhagavad because the prayers actually reveal to us the highest conclusions of the realizations of these greatest souls about the nature of the Lord, about the nature of bhakti, and about with what attitude we should approach the Lord. It's actually so important. We are sometimes so excited in the plot of the story, and that is also nice and purifying. But so much condensed realization of these great souls is packed into these prayers. Brahma praying. Huh? It is not that, somebody from Mumbai, KL, huh? Some accountant or some engineer or some businessman, is coming up with his own prayers, with his own mind, based on what he thinks God is. No, this is Brahma, perfectly realized, topmost, most intelligent personality, the creator. The creator designated by God for creating this universe. He is praying. So can you imagine when he is summarizing, crystallizing his understanding of God and summarizing it in 10-20 verses, how potent, how digested and profound that wisdom will be. These are not ordinary persons. These are self-realized souls who know Tattva perfectly. And that's how we want to hear from those who know Tattva. That's what Krishna says, no? Tad viddhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam naninas tattvadarshinaha. Go to one who is tattvadarshi, one who has seen the truth. Correct? Just like if you want medical advice, we don't go to engineer, we go to doctor. Because doctor can see the disease. The engineer will only see physical body. The doctor has the vision, the knowledge, the vision of the knowledge to see the disease and figure out the cure. That's why we want to go to the right person for the right topic. Otherwise, we will create more problem than solutions. So these great souls with so many beautiful prayers, the Bhagavatam is replete with prayers. Brahmaji is praying 30 verses of prayers. So prayers obviously are usually laden with philosophical wisdom. So I agree with you, they are quite laden and quite heavy to digest. But they are so important for those who are interested in understanding Tattva. Because Tattva Bodha means understanding of Tattva. Only when we have Tattva Bodha and we act based on the understanding of that Tattva Bodha, that eventually we will become Tattva Darshi, Tattvavit or Tattva Darshi. Understanding of Tattva properly, and then Tattva Darshi, one is able to see. When one relates with the world, one is able to interact with the world, having understood the actual paradigm of reality, seeing things as they are. With that realization, Yo Mam Pashyati Sarvatra Sarvam Chamai Pashyati. Tasyaham na pranashyami sacha nena pranashyati. I am never lost to him, he is never lost to me, because his vision is a vision of seeing everything in connection with me. He doesn't see anything except me. Even though he is not seeing my form, because he has assimilated tattva of what is given in the scriptures by listening and internalizing it, his vision has become transformed. He is not seeing with kama buddhi, he is seeing with the vision of love, the vision of seva, an attitude of seva. So that's why these prayers are very important. So why I'm mentioning this is, do not be eager to skip. So avoid the temptation of skipping through the prayers. And one interesting thing I have noticed that across these prayers, the conclusions of the realizations, even though they are expressed in slightly different words, there is perfect concurrence in the opinions of all these various realized personalities. Whether it is prayers of Kunti Maharani, their prayers uh, of any other devotee, or Lord Brahma, or the Devatas, they are very aligned in terms of their real life, because they, one, all those who have actually understood the truth, even though they may speak of it slightly differently, ekam sad vipra bahuda vadanti, those who have actually understood, they know that even though we are speaking differently, we are speaking about the same thing. So these prayers are very valuable. We must study these prayers very, very carefully. So I'm going to give a summary, because there's so much philosophical content in these prayers. We can go on and on. Each verse we can go on for one class. But in 20 minutes, try to summarize the content which we can actually go on discussing for the rest of our life. First, Lord Brahma starts glorifying the Lord by describing the Lord. So, this is a very common approach of glorifying the Lord, by describing the Lord. Now, the Lord is, in one sense, undescribable, but his undescribability is described. So, when we say the Lord is undescribable, then people say, then why are you describing him? So Prabhupada clarifies, undescribable doesn't mean that we cannot at all describe him, but it means we cannot completely describe him because he is unlimited. Because he is unlimited. So, very beautiful verse Lord Brahma starts with. Avikriyam satyam anantamadyam guhashayam nishkalam apratarkyam mano agrahyanam vachasa niruktam namame deva varam varenyam. Oh Lord, you are changeless, you are the eternal truth, you are unlimited, you are original. Now, these kind of descriptions do not apply to anybody else other than the Supreme Lord. You are in everyone's heart without any material qualities. You are inconceivable. You are cannot be conceived by the material mind and intelligence. You are the beyond the reach of mind and words. Mano agrahyam. Not. Vachasa aniruktam. Cannot be fully described by words. You are beyond. Why? Because you are not material. Essentially, what all these words are coming to is that you are beyond matter. O Lord of unsurpassable power, the most worshipable Lord, Varinyam, Deva Varam Varinyam, I offer my respectful obeisances to you. So many beautiful prayers are there. I will not go to everything. But Lord Brahma describes this transcendental nature of the Lord along with the Lord's omniscience. Oh Lord, not only are you beyond everything, but you are fully aware of everything. You are the one who has created everything. You are the supreme controller of everything. You are present in everything. But you are not everything. Everything is in you. So this, and I keep mentioning this again and again and again. I keep mentioning this again and again and again because this is the most important aspect. One has to come to this conclusion that the Lord is in everything, but at the same time, everything is within the Lord, which means the Lord is above and beyond everything. He is the hub of samsara. When we see all this whole samsara manifested, but who's actually holding everything together and making sure everything is moving, just like the wheel of samsara is moving? What is this hub of this wheel of samsara? It is the Lord. The yogis are also worshipping that Supreme Lord, who is described by one syllable, Om. Ya ekavarnam tamasap param tad, is beyond all darkness. Alokam avyaktam anantaparam, asam chakarupa suparnamenam, pasate yoga rathena dhiraha. those who are great, great yogis, they worship this Lord. Which Lord? That Lord who's sitting on the back of Garuda, who is indescribable and beyond this material manifestation, beyond space and time. That big boss we want to worship. He's Lord Brahma is saying all these prayers on the bank of the milk ocean. He's invoking the Lord. This is essentially the doorbell. Correct. Nowadays, when you ring doorbell, there are various beautiful music and songs which will start playing. The doorbell to draw the Lord's attention is prayers from the bank of the milk ocean. There is no button to press. The prayers of great devotees is what evokes the attention of the Lord. Then Lord Brahma continues to describe that this Lord is so great that by worshipping this Lord, we who are trapped in this samsara chakra of Maya, we can be delivered. This Lord is so great. Let us pray to Him. This Maya of the Lord which bewilders everyone, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, cannot be overcome by anyone unless they get the grace of Lord Hari. He is the controller of Maya. Nobody can understand Him. Even we, the Devatas, struggle to understand Him. What to speak of the demons? What to speak of ordinary living beings? It is actually so difficult to understand this personal form of the Lord. Because it is very difficult to understand the personal form of the Lord, many spiritualists who want to understand the Lord try to think of the Lord in His Vishwarupa form, as His universal form. So this is also a very interesting point, and this point also keeps coming again and again in the Bhagavad. Right from the second canto, third canto, fourth canto, Vishwarup. In different ways, the Vishwarup is described. So I'm not going to go through these verses because again, essentially there are different conceptions of Vishwarupa which are explained across the Bhagavatam. This prayers is a particular way of describing Vishwarupa. But rather than going through the verses specifically, I want to summarize the understanding, summarize the concept of Vishwarupa. What does Vishwarupa mean? When a person starts conceiving of God, actually God is inconceivable, isn't it? I was having an interesting discussion. Vishnu Chaitanya Prabhu was asking me some philosophical questions and I was trying to explain and answer him on certain subtle philosophy. I'll not go into all those discussions. So he was asking me, Prabhu, how to understand this, how to understand this. So I tried to explain to him, based on the inconceivable nature of the Lord, how some of these concepts can be understood. And the simple truth is that the Lord is actually inconceivable. What does inconceivable mean? He's beyond the grasp of the mind, isn't it? You cannot understand. He cannot be captured and understood simply by the mind. So when we talk of the Lord as a person, as a supreme person, it is so far out that for most people, how can God be a person? I am a person, I am so limited. My personality has this end. My personality is only up to here. Outside here, I am not existing. But God is everywhere. How can He be a person? So they find it so difficult because they are using their material mind to understand God's personality. They are unable to appreciate. So Shastra says to understand God's personality is very difficult. Because the Lord is simultaneously personal and impersonal, it's very difficult to understand God's personality because that's a PhD subject matter. PhD subject matter in spirituality. It is more easier to understand God as all-pervading, impersonal. Easier than that is to understand what is God. When we look around, we see this whole existence. And many of you can relate because this idea has become very popular in modern times, the last 5-10 years. Rather than using the word God, what people say? The universe. You pray to the universe and the universe will reciprocate with you. They don't want to see God because they think, oh God, this God is an old idea, an old man. sitting in the clouds. Oh, it doesn't make any sense. Huh? So what is this God universe? Pray to the universe. Manifestation. Huh? Send out your vibes and the universe will respond. So what do they think? What is their conception? That God is, this whole universe is nothing but God. This universe itself is God, is a manifestation of God. Vishwarupa. Vishwarupa. So this is a very big topic. I can go on and on this topic. I don't want to spend a lot of time because we have discussed this earlier also multiple times. So various ways in which this universe is seen at God's form. In some places, oh, the two eyes of the universal form are the sun and the moon. The rivers are the veins, the mountains are his bones. Sometimes the description is like that. So that we can relate to what we see and think, oh, this is God who has expanded himself in the form of this universe. At least we have something a bit more conceivable to the mind, at least in the initial stages. And that's what I was trying to, in my conversation today with Vishnu Prabhu, I was trying to explain how this step is so essential for those who cannot, in the neophyte and madhyam stages, cannot directly relate with the transcendence. So we have to deal at the level of sensory perception and at the level of mind at best, mind and intelligence at best. We cannot go beyond. Unless we have transcendental faith, which comes through the association of sadhus. Anyway, that's also a very big topic. Not going to that. Divya Shraddha, Alaukika Shraddha. So universe as the form of the Lord. In some places the description is the Patal are his feet, and then the various planetary system, Brahma Loka is at the top. So various 14 planetary systems are various parts of his body. So there are various ways in which this conception is explained. It's a conception. And living entities who are unable to conceive of the spiritual transcendental nature of the Lord, either his all-pervading impersonal feature or even the higher, subtler Lord Supreme Personality from which his impersonal feature manifests and pervades everything. The first step is, okay, let me think of the universe as God. Easier. I can relate to it. Something I can see. What is this God universe? Is my God and I am his part. Okay, much more relatable. Much more within my realm of experience, much more within my realm of conception. Easier. So many times the Shastras say, okay, if you are more comfortable initially with this concept, that's okay. It's not the end all be all. Because the universe is permeated by God, made by him, made of his energy, but the Lord is much more beyond the universe also. But okay, you want to start with this concept. Okay. It's a good first step. So Brahmaji goes and describes this. Lord, it's so difficult to understand your spiritual personality. So you are also understood in this way, where your feet are the earth, the mind of the universal form is the moon, the mouth, fire element is his mouth, the sun and the moon are like his eyes, the sun is like his eye, the air is like his pranas. And then goes on through various descriptions. And then he says, this entire world that everyone is attracted to, which is full of so many vibhutis or powers of the Lord, those who are actually realized in the nature of the Lord, they reject, they are not interested. So that means this world is not the be all and end all. Neither are the great saints interested, nor even the Supreme Lord himself is interested so much in this world. He is transcendental and his interest is also beyond this Trigunamai Maya. Swarajya Labha Paripuritatmane. Those who are the self-satisfied, Upashanta Shaktaye, who have become fully peaceful by giving up endeavor for material enjoyment. Such great souls, they are not interested in this world. They are detached. The Lord is detached from the material world, and the great devotees are detached. Because they eventually come to understand that your transcendental existence is beyond this material manifestation. Huh? They go beyond the conception of Vishwarupa and come to a higher conception, either to the conception of the impersonal Brahman or higher than that, your ultimate complete realization of your Sat, Chit, and Ananda aspects, which is the realization of you as the Supreme Person. ईश्वर परम कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिरादिर गोविंद सर्व कारण कारणम वदन्ति तत्तत्त्वविदस्तत्त्वं यज्ञानम अद्वयम ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवान इति शब्दते. Brahman, Paramatma, and highest is the Bhagavan realization, the realization of the transcendental personality. It's not easy to realize the Lord's personality. Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mameti sorjuna. Not so easy to understand my personality. He who understands the divine nature of my so-called birth and my activities when I come in this world, it is so extraordinary and difficult to understand that if somebody actually understands, he becomes free from the cycle of birth and death. He comes back to me. So difficult to understand, which means no ordinary person can understand. So Brahma, after describing this Vishwarupa, please remember, Brahma and the Devatas, this is a Bhagavatam class going on. Brahma is offering prayers, he's ringing the doorbell of Shvetadvip by singing these beautiful prayers. All the Devatas are sitting and listening, and Brahma is offering these prayers. He's saying, oh Lord, this universe is there, this is also your form. But those who are realized, and he himself is realized, Brahma is saying, we are interested in something else. We are interested in your personal form, your spiritual form, Satchidananda Vigraha. We are devotees surrendered to you. Why are we interested in this material manifestation? We want to see your spiritual form. Please, we are your devotees. You are inside this Shweta Dvipa. You are not accessible to us. Please come out and give us darshan. We want to see your spiritual form. The Lord is both personal and impersonal, but the Lord's personal aspect is more attractive than the Lord's impersonal aspect. We do not reject the Lord's impersonal aspect. Yes, the Brahman aspect is there. Yes, the Brahma Sayujya is also there. But the Bhaktas are more attracted to the Lord's personal form. His Bhagavan aspect. Bhaga means opulence. His spiritual opulence is not material. Material opulence is his Vishwarupa. Spiritually realized devotees are not excited by the Vishwarupa or the vibhutis of the material world. But they are attracted by the Lord's spiritual Aishwarya, Bhaga. So Brahma is saying, please show that divine form of yours. We have come to your door, we are ringing your doorbell. Rather than answering on the intercom this time, can you come to the door and open the door and give? He's not saying in these words, but that's essentially what Lord Brahma is meaning. Please give us your darshan. Like in the in the Isha Upanishad, there's this beautiful verse. Bhakti Shastri students should know this by heart. Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukham tattvam pushan apavrunu satya dharmaya drishtai. Oh Lord, your beautiful face is covered by your dazzling effulgence. Please remove the dazzling effulgence so that I can see your beautiful face. I want to see your beautiful face. Because rather than seeing your effulgence, the Brahma Jyoti, seeing your face is so much more pleasurable. That's why the devotee is more interested in developing a sweet relationship with the Lord rather than trying to merge into the Lord's impersonal effulgence. So Brahmaji starts praying like this. And the last 4 verses of this chapter, I'll just take 5 more minutes and then we'll conclude. So please hang on. I hope you are also eager to hear this message. Brahmaji is saying, very important, not because I am saying, I am just sharing with you what Brahmaji said. that very, very important message. Last four shlokas, says very beautifully. He glorifies the worshipping or devotion of Lord Vishnu. So first he says, Klesha Bhuri Alpasharani Karmani Vifalani Va Dehinam Vishayartanam Na Tathaivarpitam Tvai. Oh Lord, the nature of this material world is there is so much hard work and trouble one has to go through for little gain. And even those gains are very frustrating in this material world. That is the experience of those who are trying to enjoy this world. But those who are your devotees, they are not frustrated like this. They don't experience the frustration that those who are enjoyers of this world or those who attempt to enjoy this world, they go through. Because even if a little bit bhakti is done to you, O Lord, if it's done properly, even a little bit, swalpam apiyasya dharmasya na trayate mahatova, it is never goes in waste. Because you are always reciprocating with those who come to you in devotion, even if it is little. Navamaha karma kalpopi vifala yeshwararpitaha kalpate purushasyaiva sahi atma daito hitaha. They become very dear to you, my Lord, because they work. You are the Supreme Father. All such people are very dear to you. That is why worship of you is so important. Rather than trying to simply try to become enjoyers of this world. Yatha hi skanda sakhanam tarora moolavashechanam evam aradhanam vishnoho sarvesham atmana chahi. Very beautiful shloka. And there's a very equivalent shloka in the Bhagavad which we have discussed earlier. And the translation of this verse goes as, just as trunk and branches of a tree are nourished by watering the root of the tree. When one worships the Supreme Lord Vishnu, everyone is automatically served and satisfied because Lord Vishnu is the Paramatma, is the super soul of all living entities. This is in essence the same as the verse from the Bhagavad, from the same scripture which we discussed earlier. यथा हि तरोर मूल निषेचनेन तृप्यन्ति तत्स्कंद भुजोपशाखाः प्राणोपहारा यथेन्द्रियाणां तथैव सर्वार्हणम् अच्युत इज्ज. Essentially the same message. The Lord Vishnu is the root of the tree of this manifestation. So let us water the root. Namastubhyam anantaya. Last verse of the chapter. Durvitarkaya karmane nirgunaya guneshaya sattvasthaya cha Sampratam. Very beautiful. Oh Lord, we want to be your devotee. We know the glory of being your devotee. You are the root of the tree of all existence. We want to water the root. That's why please accept my respects to you, O unlimited Lord. O Lord, whose spiritual actions are inconceivable and ununderstandable to us. He who is beyond the gunas, nirgunaya, guneshaya, and who's the controller of the triguna. Sattvasthaya cha Sampratam. Even though you are beyond the gunas, O Lord, you are in control of Sattva Guna and you like to manage and maintain Sattva Guna because that is the platform for devotees like us to elevate ourselves and eventually use as a stepping stone to jump to transcendence. O Lord, I bow down. This is how Lord Brahma concludes his prayer. So sweet, such a beautiful sequence. He glorifies the nature of the Lord, then he glorifies the universal form. Then he says the universal form is not the be-all end-all. Beyond that is your spiritual form which we want to worship through devotion. And it is only through devotion to you that we can attain your spiritual form. So please give us your darshan. Very, very beautiful. In this way, he rings the doorbell at the door of Shvetadipa, the bank of the milk. So in this way, this chapter ends. So next chapter we'll discuss how the Lord responded to these prayers. So to just give you a quick preview of the next episode, the Lord was so attracted by these beautiful prayers that usually the Lord will just give a message over the intercom in Brahma's heart. He will reveal message. Okay, do this, this, this. I know what your problem is. This is the solution. Please tell the solution. This time the Lord personally came and gave darshan, Brahma and all the devatas. So that is what we will discuss. And what was the response that the Lord gave, and what was the instructions that the Lord gave? And those instructions, how they led to performance of the Samudra Manthan. That discussion we will have in the next class, which is the 6th chapter. Tantra Srimad Bhagavad Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada. Any questions or comments? Yeah, Tarun Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Tarun Prabhu is like Sukadev Goswami. He likes to ask a lot of questions because he is listening very attentively. Any doubt he and the other Sukadev Goswami is our. Who is it? Any guess?
Suraj Prabhu.
Haribo. Yes.
No, Prabhu, we are trying to be just your followers and stuff. Yeah. Prabhuji, I have a question. Just like you're talking about the Vishwaroop and the Bhagwan Swaroop, in the temple, if we go, we already have a Vigraha. And for us, this is the Swaroop for us. Means we believe this is the only Krishna. We don't have anything else. And no feeling to see what the ultimate Roop may be. We don't know. So is that not such sufficient that we need to try for the
sufficient.
Vishwaroop?
It is sufficient because you have spiritual faith. Because you have spiritual faith. You understand that this, what you see as a murti in front of you, is actually a spiritual form of the Lord. Because you have heard it from scripture that a properly installed vigraha, that Lord which is spiritual and in the spiritual world is standing like this, and goloke eva nivasatya kilatma bhuto. But because in your conditioned stage you cannot perceive him with these eyes, that Lord is so kind that he accepts this gunatmaka form of this murti and makes it his spiritual body just to receive my worship, so that I can see him with this eye. Correct? We cannot see the spiritual form with this eye, right?
Yeah.
But we cannot wait until we achieve perfection. So now how do I relate with him? If I have faith that there is a spiritual form, he becomes visible to these eyes by coming in the form of the Archa Vigraha. The Vigraha through which we can do his Archana. That is what is Archa Vigraha. We want to worship him. In the current state that we are with the body, with the senses, how we can worship him? Through his Archa Vigraha. So it is adequate. But we have to see the Archa Vigraha with this divine spiritual vision based on what we have heard from Shastra.
Oh, got it.
We don't think those who are neophyte, when they see the Archa Vigraha, Prabhupada explains this in the Nectar of Instruction, Padeshamrut. Those who are, what is the neophyte's vision? Neophyte sees the Murti, thinks this is God. He has faith that this is God. But he thinks only this is God. Only this is God. But those who have proper understanding, they understand that God is everything, in everything, and everything is within God. But the Lord is so kind, he has appeared in this Murti. He understands that everything is related to God, so he has a broader understanding of Tattva. More advanced understanding. So when you see the deity, you see Krishna, but you should also see that all living entities are also Krishna's parts and parcels. And you have to properly respect them according to their level of advancement. That is a Madhyama Adhikari. Kanishta only sees the deity in the temple, but he is not interested in relating properly with the Santa Gana, with the sadhus, with the bhaktas. He doesn't have that intelligence. He says, me and my God, that's all. Nobody else I'm interested in. Me and my God. And who's this God? The one who's standing here. Yes, he's God, but isn't that God also everywhere? The Uttam Adhikari actually has the spiritual vision to understand, not just theoretically, but he can actually see Krishna everywhere and in the heart of every living entity. Correct? That's what Krishna says, na?
Yes.
Shuni chaiva shupake cha pandita samadarshina. The real learned sage sees the same Paramatma present in the heart, not only of the great sage and the Brahmana, but also the cow, the elephant, the dog, and the dog eater. That is an advanced vision. So, understanding that the deity is, the Murti is God, is a good starting point for those who have faith in the personal form of the Lord. But if we think that God begins and ends with the Murti, then that is also a limited understanding.
Okay.
So that is why knowledge is important. Because knowledge, when heard, that's why I'm saying, seeing is not enough.
Listening is
Not
important.
enough. We have to see through the eyes of Shastra. Shastra Chakshusha. Okay? Does it answer your
Yes.
question?
Yes, bro. Yes, it answers.
So we
Oh,
have to
I have.
pray to the deity that give me that vision, that I can see you in everything and everything in you. If we think only the Murti is Krishna, then as soon as we walk out from the temple, we'll see everything is disconnected with Krishna. That's not what we want. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, you were about to say something.
Yeah, there's another question, Prabhu. It's a general question actually. It's not related to class. Prabhu, this is on ISKCON temple. Whenever any preaching starts, we generally sing. Majorly, I have seen that Jai Radha Madhava Kunj Bihari.
Yes.
And I have seen majorly only this bhajana is basically sing. So why only this bhajan? Why not any other to begin with?
So this was a practice that was established by Srila Prabhupada when he started at Bhagavatam classes.
Okay.
So this particular song is actually written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, if I'm not wrong, as a very summarized description of Krishna of Goloka.
Oh.
See, our parampara is, there are so many authentic paramparas, some whose objective is to worship Lord Narayan, some to worship Lord Ram. Our specific parampara is focused on Purna Purushottam Krishna and especially Vraja Krishna. So when we sing this, we are reminding ourselves our ultimate objective. Jaya Radha Madhava. Who are we after? We are after Radha Madhav. Who is this Radha Madhav? Kunja Vihari, who's running around in the kunjas of Braj. Gopijana Vallabha. Huh? If you are still not sure who we are talking about, he's the one who's dear to the gopis. Huh? Girivaradhari, the one who lifted the Govardhan hill.
Govardhan.
Yashodanandana, the son of Nanda and Yashoda. Brajajana Ranjana is dear to all the people of Braja. That Brajendra Krishna. And where you will find him? Jamuna Tira Banachari. You want to go looking for him? Don't go here and there. Don't go to US. Don't go to here. You will find him on the bank, on the forests which are along the banks of Yamuna. That is where he's roaming around with the residents of Braja. That is where the beautiful Braja Leela of the beautiful Prema between Krishna and the residents of Vrindavan is manifested. That is what we are working towards. So very beautifully in this prayer, we can do any kirtan, but this kirtan is so apt for our lineage. So initially when the Bhagavatam classes were started in ISKCON, Prabhupada would just say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. But this particular tradition was started by Prabhupada. He said, let us sing this. There's a particular story around that. I do not recollect the whole story, but if you research, you will find that a particular very interesting episode happened between Prabhupada and his disciples, and Prabhupada sang this, and Prabhupada said, yes, let us establish this practice of singing this before every Bhagavatam class. So like that, this system has started. So we carry on whatever our gurus have instructed. Isn't it a very beautiful prayer? Such a beautiful summarization of our ultimate objective. So this should be our meditation. When we are seeing Krishna, this is what remembrance should come. Who's this Krishna who's standing?
Kunj Bihar.
Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha, he's Gopinath. He's Sham Sundar. Yamuna Tirabanachari, he's Giridhari. Huh? That Supreme Lord, I want to. Okay, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Radha Madhav. Okay, so if there are no other questions and comments, we can conclude here. Thank you very much. So I'll see you on the next Saturday. Tomorrow is Ekadashi Brata. Just a reminder. So please observe your Ekadashi fast and whatever additional bhajan you can do for the pleasure of the Lord. Please do that. Thank you so much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samved Gaura Bhakta.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Hari Hari.
Hare Prabhu. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
sir. Hare Krishna, sir.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhaskar, Archana ji, Leela Mata ji, Indulekha Mata ji, Tarun, Pooja ji, Sini Mata ji, Suraj,
Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari. Sridevi Mata ji, thank you. Amit and Priya, my dear friends. Sachi Prema Mata ji, Sapna ji, thank you so much. Sridevi Mata ji, thank you. So I will see you all on next Saturday. We'll continue the beautiful discussion of the Samudra Manthan, where we will start with how the Lord appeared, then how he had these beautiful instructions and how that led to the Samudra Manthan. Thank you. Hari Bol. Have a wonderful evening.
Hare Krishna.